Hello, welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn. I am Shawn, and I apologize for the day delay. Hopefully it didn't inconvenience too many of you, but you may hear that more than once, and I apologize for any breaks I may have to take to blow my nose. Last week I got some kind of cold flu. I've never really had allergies, but you know, who knows? I'll take anything except long COVID symptoms, and it wasn't that. But it really knocked me down. So I couldn't do my normal recording on Thursday. Thankfully, Asif and production was wonderful enough to make it work for today, even if it's just going to be a little shorter, due to my inability probably to talk that long. But if you're talking about rocks and minerals, then if nothing else is going to get me more excited and bring out any life in me, it's that. So stick around. I have a lot of, let's say, really good values I'm going to show you. Plus, I also have, and I'm surprised it didn't sell before, but a specimen of manganese calcite, and I seldom actually pull a piece out and focus on it like this prior to actually showing it. But I just want to show you the color that it is now, and in this case, we were able to. Dave's figured out a setting on the camera that will actually, in conjunction with my ultraviolet light, show you the actual color of the fluorescence, which is a bright orangish pink color relative to what it is now. And fluorescence, just due to the wavelength, is really difficult to film. And so when I have something that's fluorescent, I always say, hey, let's do a practice run on this and see how it turns out. And we used to do it prior to the live show. I used to do the 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. Monday evening live show at Gem Shopping for 9 years. Over 9 years. Prior to that, I did another show with a vendor that was actually upwards of 4 nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, in the what we call the A slot. That's the first time frame of the day, the 3 to 9 a.m. And I did that for 4 years. So overall, I've been here about 15 years. And so I always, I was the first one to develop being able to show color change, like when the very valuable blue color change garnets were in the market more prevalently. I was able to show those, alexandrites, the color changes to those, and it was a lot of fun. I used a special light box, and so I would work on those things, and then we'd do the live show, because we couldn't do it always when live and discover it. But discovery of being able to bring you a specimen as the human eye sees it, is a really challenging yet fun aspect to this as well. So that's why I've even shown you the little adapters that can go on your camera that can take amazing photos of inclusions that are in gemstones. And so then I also have a very inexpensive, goes up real high magnification, upwards of 800 times, that just is a USB port in your computer that you can take pictures from. And so I would just use a gem tray to put a white gem tray, and then I use my natural color flashlights to achieve the closest color to what the human eye would see. And I would take the pictures also the inclusions. So that was just so much fun. I remember I used to get a gem and mineral hobbyist magazine as a teenager. And so remember, I've been doing this since 11 years old when I first started taking stone cutting lessons. And so one of 6 kids, and with 4 boys in between 2 girls. So I'm the 4th child down from the top as far as the boys go. So we were very boy growing up in Sarasota, Florida, out in the palmetto scrubs, and had acres to play in and do everything that a bunch of boys would do. Except there was one thing different about me that my older brothers couldn't help but chide me on. In that magazine every month, there was inside, just a couple pages inside from the front, was a fold out, like you would a centerfold fold out type. And it was titled Inclusion of the Month. Well, that's just going to naturally bring some, I guess chiding is the best word. I don't get to use that word much, but I think it applies to this from my older brothers about what kind of centerfold I was looking at. Funny though, one of those older brothers later has the jewelry store that's quite amazing. Part of it's made into a mine shaft in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and so what became something that teased me about at one point became someone else's profession with my help. He went a long way, and I was glad to see it, because he was the black sheep of the family. Always wondered where he was going to end up, but I helped him out, and he's been always very gracious for getting him started into that business. And then he leaped forward before me. He had a jewelry store before I did. So I ended up, creating 2 of them and selling them, and they're still in operation to this day, and that, I guess, will be my part of my legacy. So yeah, because sometimes it's, you look at your life when you're not, after not feeling great for years from long COVID, you wonder just exactly what did you do here, on this earth. You loved rocks and minerals, and you spread them. Remember, I also told a story, if you don't remember. So in Sarasota is where I really grew up, and I'll tell this one more story. I thought that at one point I did not like my hobby anymore of rocks and minerals. And so what I was making money from, doing something I loved, and cutting stones for people that took vacations to North Carolina, put an ad in the paper and all. So I had this idea. It's like, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore. I sold my cabochon cutting equipment to a couple friends that saw me making all this money, and they wanted to make the money, so they wanted the equipment. So I sold it to them, because I had discovered girls at one point, and well, at other points too, but at kind of at the same time. And this isn't a regret. It was a little bit at the time, but now there's times often that I think about it. I had, by the time I was 16, an amazing geode collection. And I'm not talking about, I still love like the Oko geodes and still have them, but a lot of them were like the Mexican coconut geodes, around this size, but they would vary. And a lot of them I had sawed, most of them myself. And then some that I hadn't even sawed. And I donated that entire collection to the Boys Club of Sarasota. And they actually had a cabochon, a mineral, kind of rock and mineral program, and with my collection, it helps start it. And so my stone cutting, so I went from doing what I loved, and once I sold my equipment to these two other guys, well, they floundered because it wasn't their passion, right? And I wound up working at Walt's Fish Market in Sarasota, Florida. A great fish market, mind you, and restaurant. But I became a busboy. Nothing wrong with that. I think everybody should work in a restaurant at some point in their life, and they'll always tip from that point forward for the service that they deserve, if you get the proper service, because it is a hard job. And you go home, and I went home every night smelling like a fish. I had to always shower and bathe, and it didn't take long. It was around 9 months. I actually got Hank Aaron's, while I was there, I have Hank Aaron's autograph. And then also, so he was the one that came in by himself, and I was bold enough to bother the man. And the other person, those of you in my age group will remember, if you watched I Love Lucy, it was her boss, Mr. Mooney, Gordon, I'll have to look, I forget his exact name, but you know who it was by just saying it was Lucy's boss that she drove crazy. So I remember, so that was my big takeaway from my time spent there. My friends floundered. I bought the equipment back and never wavered from my passion after that. I realized there was nothing else I ever wanted to do, and it carried me forward with making an income and a living from my hobby to this day. And so, you know, I'm still going. I'm a little regretful about these 3 years just not having the health that I wanted to have to get in the woods like I wanted to, but hopefully it will come back. Yeah, so did a bunch of bench work yesterday. The person that bought that opal ring that was so amazing with the big diamonds, and what an amazing deal. I sized that ring. It came out great. Looks great. So in sizing it down, it really improved the thickness of the shank at the bottom, and that was in the range of the original size anyway. So you'll be getting that back real quickly now that I did it, and no one else did it. So I wanted that to get done, and yeah. So let's get started. We have comments to get to, not too many, but also we have a trivia winner. So Miss Barbara, excuse me, Miss Barbara says, here's what Gem Granny looks like, and it's really appreciative. If you guys get to see everything about me, and you know, the days I don't look great, the days I've come in and not been myself, it's only fair that I get to see what all of you look like. And it's neat because when Miss Elisa's comments come in on my email, there's the little avatar picture, whatever you call it, but it is of Miss Elisa, so I know what she looks like, which is really nice. And so anyway, Miss Barbara sent her picture, and it's just so warming to put a face with the name, and I really appreciate that. So she says, here's what Gem Granny looks like. The other picture is my New York City heat wave project. So check this out. Now, I would have showed you, but I couldn't print out all the pictures that she had sent, but she, Miss Barbara had gotten out all of her items that she had purchased that she actually had the invoices of. Now, that's probably rule number 2 of what you do not do. You do not get out your invoices and see how much you have spent at Shawn's, at Gem Collectors. You just get out your rocks and look at them and assign no value to them. And actually, there's a lot of sense to not putting a value or actually forgetting a value to a rock, because you assess it more on its exact aesthetic beauty instead of attaching a relative value to it. Oftentimes, of course, values have nothing to do with actual values, as you've seen me give away, literally give away, and also give away via selling way less than the market value of items that I can never replace for what I've sold them for. But that's the fun of all of you watching and getting a chance at a good deal. You know, I got the sales reports because Christy in inventory has been really on the ball with helping me see along the way. I don't get to see who, because everyone is, because you have a customer number, and all I can see is maybe the same number of a person that buys quite a few items. In the last 2 week shows, she said your boxes left are, you know, like empty. My sell through is like 90% of everything I showed has sold. That's cool and good, because that's what's supposed to happen from my end, but I feel bad because so many of those are one of a kind, and I read how so many of you have a list that you maybe get one of 5 items that you might have wanted or something, and I just wish everyone could be fulfilled, but that's part of the rarity of the items. Most of them now that you're getting are personal items from the collection. So she says, her heat wave project. During COVID, I inventoried, boxed, and labeled my entire collection, modest as it is, but haven't done a thing since January 2022. So I reunited items on display with their invoices prior to processing. Most of those are from you. That'd be me. I told you that to tell you this. A week ago, the new mineral record came with a cover article on dioptase. The type location in Kazakhstan, described by Rene Just Awi, which, you know, how many times have we talked about Awi? He, you know, and Aween, the gem/mineral named after him, and he has named so many minerals, other items. Wow, I wish during that time when so many things were being found, it would have been a great time to have been in the mineral and gem business. By Rene Awi, namely the Altin tube or tayub. Well, there on my table was a beautiful little green dioptase specimen from none other than the Altin tayub from you. Happy, happy, joy, joy. A lovely specimen became a precious specimen. Thank you so much. Isn't that cool? So, you know, she got it and bought it because of its beauty at the time. And then you later realize by an article like that, and you have a specimen from the place that they're talking about, it really personalizes it and gives it another depth of I don't want to put value because someone may think dollar value. The value is in its emotional, heartfelt, passionate value, that kind. A lovely specimen became a precious specimen. Thank you so much. That's very well said. Further story, the invoice showed when I made the purchase, so I went back into the YouTube inventory of your shows and rewatched the entire April 12th, 2022 episode to catch your commentary on my stone. And if many of you don't realize, there is the log of all shows going way back of them. And you can watch any one of them, and you can still buy from any of them or write down the item and they can tell you whether it's available or not. In the process, I was attempted to check on the status of a clear fluorite crystal cluster, which you said might have an elusive anhydro. Those are something that a lot of people forget to look for. And because I have looked for them, I have discovered them in specimens way undervalued compared to the value of them if they have them. And I actually in Dahlonega, and I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. There's a store on the square, and it's a country general store, but they have some rocks and minerals in there. And on the table, showcase, there's just a basket where you can just pick yourself of Tibetan, we'd call them Herkimer quartz. So they're doubly terminated, but they're from Tibet, and they tend to have a lot more carbon inclusions in them, but that's okay. But what a lot of them had and have, and they were all the same price, $4 each, were in hydros in probably 20% of them. I went crazy. I picked out so many. And, one person's knowledge, and that's what it was. It was my knowledge of saying, oh, and I already knew Tibetan doubly terminated quartz could have anhydrous, and they didn't price or separate them one from the other. And of course, there's a big difference in value if they have. And I picked them all out of there. Didn't feel bad one bit. That's where my knowledge was paid off over someone else's lack of knowledge. Yeah, they didn't have the passion to learn enough about them. That's the way I saw it anyway. Well, it turns out I had purchased that too, and it was sitting on the table unexamined. I'm in the process of looping it, and we'll put it under the microscope later today. What an adventure. Exactly. A mineral specimen can become an adventure, and that's the way I see them all the time. And that's why it takes me so long to inventory, because I get studying the specimen closer, and then it becomes just a love fest I have with it. And but that's what it's about. That's why we like these things and love them and treasure them, because they're items that came out of the earth exactly the way we see them. Except for the fact, and I was going to talk about this at some other point and get into letting you understand that so many of these mineral specimens that you see, even at shows, have had a lot of time spent on them in cleaning them up. There's a whole science almost to what is the word? If in archaeology it would be, preparation, or, same thing with fossils. Same thing that goes through with specimens. So, so many of those like specimens that have that material in between the muscovite and mica. If it was a really nice pink apatite specimen, it would all be cleaned out by hand. All of that would be cleaned up. It's not the way it came out of the ground, but it is untouched as far as what's there natural. So to remove clay and material like that, that's all acceptable, because the specimen is still original. And so it's okay. But to see a before and after of many of those, you'd be like, wow, what they go through to really bring you out a museum quality look. Speaking of museum quality, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and Google it or whatever. The Lion of Marilani. It is with the Annenberg, the new gem wing to the Smithsonian Institution. It was their lead piece for the wing and showcasing, which was, let me see if I can get the weight right, 113 karat Savarite garnet, cut from a 270 something carat piece of rough, 177 facets in a cushion shape, and stunning. And the largest Savarite garnet the Smithsonian had up to that point was a 15 karat stone. So this was donated pretty much by Bruce Bridges, Campbell Bridges' son. Campbell Bridges, of course, is the one that found the Savarite garnets in Tanzania in 1967, and then later deposit close by in Kenya, and lost his life a number of years ago by a bunch of miners, jealous miners mostly. You know, you can get into a whole debate about that, but none of it is worth taking a wonderful man's life who gave a lot back to the community still. And that lived on in his son, Bruce, who took over the operation. And so they discovered this amazing, amazing crystal, and the cutter cut a piece from and the design from a synthetic first to see how it would look, and then he cut the real thing. And so about a month in the actual cutting of it, and it was all been videoed, and the whole story of it has been recorded, which has never been done before. So I'd be interested even to see the cutting of a stone that large, and it's amazing. So the Lion of Miralani, Merelani, and it's, I think, a double entendre to the meaning of Campbell Bridges being referenced as the lion, and then also the lion being, you know, king of the jungle, and this stone is certainly the king of Savarites. So highly worth looking that up. Just put largest Savarite donated to Smithsonian would get you there as well. Okay, excuse me. So, Miss Barbara recommends going back and viewing old episodes for education. We may have missed the full story of Moldavite formation and the tons of microdiamonds in the Nordinger impact crater, Suvite, and details about purchased items. It was especially nice to see your energy before the nasty stuff weighing you down in the past year happened. Oh yeah, so you could compare me to a year ago. Back to my project. If I ever want to use the kitchen table again for food, see you Monday as usual. Barbara from from Brooklyn. Monday, Tuesday, all ends in a Y. So today for me it's Monday. I'm getting to record the show. You're going to get to see it just a day after I record it. We then have Miss Kathleen. Miss Kathleen, I believe, out there in Kansas. Hello, Shawn and fellow rock family. Well, you know, it was another great show when all but one of the items you wish to purchase is already gone. See, that's where I feel terrible. That is okay. At least I was able to get the amber owl. And you know, owls are my totem animal. For many reasons, I could tell you owl stories that are just so bizarre. Like in the midday, one on the path down to my lake home, and literally I could have touched it. It was just that close, and it wouldn't fly off. And it was right after my mom passed away. And of course, to the Native American lore, the owl had a spiritual meaning for after death. And so anyway, it was just, I just can't believe it. There wasn't some other higher connection to that. I'm going to believe there was. So the owl is special, and that was a really special piece. And it sounds like, weren't the only one that wanted it. So if you got it, that's great. It'll be a great addition to my mantle. Wishing everyone a great and safe week. And our mantle also is where we have some of our nicest items, like our amazing labradorite carved skulls that are large and stunning labradorite. Or I gave the raven, her birthstone is an aquamarine. It's a stunning aquamarine crystal in quartz, white quartz matrix. And that's about 6 inches long and wonderful blue that she treasures. So many times I just wanted to offer it for sale, just to offer something really cool, but she'd kill me. That would be the end of Shawn. So, trivia questions. So here are the questions, since she had the answers. The questions were, what is the visual giveaway look like if something is natural ivory? And it is pretty much a crisscross pattern that forms kind of like a diamond shape. Very distinctive. Can't be synthesized. Once you see it, you will always know it. And any bone or plastics cannot be made to look like it. So crisscross diamond pattern. Second question was, scolecite belongs to what mineral group? Answer, the zeolite family. Because I offered that really cool scolecite in the box. I believe that sold too. Wow. There was some neat stuff I offered. There'll be some more. Just stick around. Miss Cindy. So anyway, Miss Kathleen gets both of the answers right. Look for the diamond-shaped pattern, she says. And zeolite. Cindy in Pennsylvania says, hello, Rock family. Great show, Shawn. Loved all the educational segments. Should I do anything special storing of arsenopyrite mineral specimens from the Gold Hill mine in Utah? No, but arsenopyrite, which is pyrite with arsenic as part of the ore body, just like so many other mineral specimens, irregardless of really what's in them, you should always wash your hands and be conscious of, after touching them, where your hands touch next. Like, especially if I handle, I have since none of you all seem to want it, my radioactive specimen collection has gotten quite large now, and I'm conscious, very conscious, and often don't touch them directly. I'll use a piece of thin tissue paper or something like that. Remember, I have a Geiger, very, very sensitive Geiger counter, the Geiger, as Raven calls it. And so I can even measure my skin if I touch a specimen and then see if there's any transfer. And so you want to definitely be careful. So same thing. If you're handling real gar, orpiment, those are arsenic ores. There's, minerals which often are and can be dangerous. Even if you're cutting malachite, whether at the bench or at the grinding wheel, the cabbing wheel, you have to use water because the dust, malachite's fine, but the dust from malachite is poisonous. It's copper, and you don't want that. So there's things that you just have to be careful with and know. So you're fine with the specimen sitting out. There's not going to be any air contamination or anything like that. But what it will do, as so many others, is it'll develop an oxidation on the surface. Even pyrite will. Now, a neat thing with pyrite, like I saw on your table, you got that really cool Spanish pyrite cube that comes out of its little seat. You can take that and, of course, know which way it goes back in. But if it ever develops a patina, it's okay on something like that if you want to just take a regular silver polishing cloth, because I've done it, and polish the surface up and just brighten it all up. It's not affecting anything. You're not doing anything bad to it, and you're keeping it bright. Galena is another one that will develop a really heavy surface oxidation, and underneath is a really bright, shiny finish, and that can be brightened. And if that happens and you don't want that to happen, there's many ways that you can play around and improve the surface of it. As much as I hate to say it, on some of them, if you really want to try, and this is how they do specimen restoration, so to speak, is, people that do it know what different other chemicals you can use on the surface to remove other minerals that develop through oxidation, and et cetera. And a Q-tip is a great use to get just like on a particular face or surface. And that Tarnex you can use to remove certain. So you can play around if you have a specimen to just learn yourself and take notes and make notes of that. Trial and error. But no, you're arsenopyrite, you're good. So from what I gathered, unless I am creating vapor, it is pretty safe. Yep, exactly. So if it's sitting there, you're fine. Trivia. Diamond shape intersecting growth lines and the zeolite family getting the answers right. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania. And, oh, here we go. Amber Owl for the win. Of course, Cindy always love owls. They are having a party outside my window many nights. Cindy always lists her favorite item on the show, and it happened to be that owl. Mr. Anthony in Massachusetts. Hello all. So I'm sure by now you know about the issue with the item numbers. I tried for the third petrified wood specimen and the chrysocolla specimen, but the numbers and the chrysocolla were not in the system. I think half the sales reps were looking to get it straightened out. I hope it wasn't widespread. Anyway, it was still a great show. Yes, it became an issue. I heard about it. But at that point, of course, I've done my part. I could do no more. And I was just glad to see the show wasn't lost. It did take a great effort to reassemble a lot of items that were somehow did not get edited and when it was posted. So yes, they got it figured out, but I'm sorry for any inconvenience or for those of you that miss specimens. Now remember, when things like that happen, it only means that the specimen was ending up in the person's hand that needed it the most. Maybe for the metaphysical part to it, maybe just for the aesthetic beauty that their heart needed. To look at something like that and be transformed and feel that sense of awe that nature can give you from mineral specimens. Trivia. Ivory, visual, diamond-shaped intersecting growth lines. Well said. Scolecite belongs to the mineral group of zeolites. Very good on there. Miss Elisa says, hello, Professor Shawn, the lovely Raven, GSN crew, and Rock family. Thank you so much for the beautiful crystal. I can't wait to explore it under a loop when it arrives. Thank you. I hope I didn't miss the deadline for this week's show, and I would like to opt out, but my answers are intersecting diamond pattern and the zeolite. Thank you again. Have a good week, everyone, and stay safe. No, you didn't miss the deadline because I didn't do the show as early as I normally would have, many days later, Monday instead of a Thursday. So, Mr. Harry in Massachusetts. Well, hello there, Professor Shawn and the lovely radio and them hip peeps at GSN. A big hello. Also, hello to my friends in Stone from all over the place. Hey, thanks for reading my almost disaster to everyone. And hope and pray it will serve as a one-time fine to take extra care when buffing on those big, fluffy wheels with a small item with protruding parts to get caught. Wow, I still can't believe that happened. Yeah, Harry, I'm surprised that that was the first time that that ever happened to you, to have a buffing wheel grab an item and just rip it out of your hands and sling it across the room. Oh, man, happened to me many times. And the worst was I was polishing, and I even had the chain wrapped around a glass jar. The chain was a 6-foot handmade link chain. And I'm telling you, I was 20 years old. I still knew better. But I was doing everything kind of correct. And there was just enough play in that chain that I let just enough play, because what you do, you wrap it around a glass jar, this long chain, right? And then you hang onto that chain tight and against the glass jar and the buffing wheel, because they wanted the whole chain polished. So then you can polish the whole chain on the wheel. If you try to hand polish it, that wheel will grab a portion of that chain. It's just a matter of time. So I greatly increased my odds at preventing that. I let just enough gap, just enough play in that chain on that glass jar for that wheel to get in that little bit of gap created, and pulled on that chain, ripped it out of my hands. The glass jar came out from under it, did not break the glass jar, but that chain spun around, broke the bulb above the buffing wheel that's in buffing machines. I mean, kind of breakage. That 6-foot chain ended up 7 feet. It had stretched out all those handmade links. And if I wasn't as good of a goldsmith as I was at destroying it, I could have never fixed it back. And it took time, and I made the error, and it was only going to take time, and my talent I had still at that age to fix what I messed up. And I did it. It took a long time, and I learned such a lesson that to this moment, I remember that. Yeah, it did happen. So yes, big wheels, buffing wheels, can be a destructor in the shop. So Harry goes on to say, then, as if that wasn't enough, I had another near catastrophe. LOL. Okay, so my fastening station and cabbing sawing stations are in my room against the sliding glass door out to the porch of my room. So anywho, I started getting a burning feeling in my mouth and my lips were swelling up when I was over working on my gemstone or cabochon machines. I Googled the symptoms and I came up with a black or very dangerous mold that can create those symptoms. Yeah, mold. And I had not cleaned out the water tank or the treated water in my salt tank. So I unbolted my machine and got it outdoors, and holy cow pies, found it. That was last Monday. He actually sent me pictures, but I couldn't duplicate them and show them to you. Okay, let me see that. Okay, that was last Monday after the peridot catastrophe to a whole new one. I stripped the thing down to bones and rebuilt it from the ground up. New bearing, drive shaft, and even sprung for a sintered blade. And I'm pretty good with metalwork and painting, so I made my Lortone LU6X just shine like a new creation. LOL. Well, the new pick precedes the old. Shows you I am computer illiterate. Anyway, problem solved, and I have the additive in my salt tank to keep that from happening again. Boy, Harry, you're learning some lessons really hard. In the 51 years I've been, I shouldn't say that, that I've been working with salt tanks, water, and things. I have never had that problem there, Harry. I just told you what I just did, so, I can fess up and say I've never molded myself almost to death. Oh, by the way, when that chain came off that thing, it was coming and it was flinging and it was going to flail me like, like I've been switched. And I jumped back. I did have a leather apron on, and anyway. So, I enjoyed the lesson in identifying ivory. Very interesting. See, I love learning new things. I may try for that Indonesian owl amber. Everybody wanted that thing there, Miss Kathleen. Glad to see you got one of the treasures you wanted anyway. So anyway, I know this is late to make next show, but I just wanted to thank you for sharing that story. I hope it will serve as a deterrent what not to do. Lovingly, Harry. Yes, many other people's mistakes can be other people's easy lessons learned. All of you that got the answers right. Assigned a number, and the number randomly drawn. This week, the winner is Miss Kathleen, and let's show you what you have won. Look at this. This is so cool, and I have so little of this. Beautiful, beautiful Madagascan celestite. Now, celestite, the IMA, the international body that officially names mineral specimens and whatnot, actually goes by celestine. But celestite is the most common name you're going to find in the market for this material. Now, the material got its name originally from meaning of the sky because of its beautiful, beautiful light blue color that you're seeing here. And its heavenly nature to those colors. This has some stunning crystals that you can see protruding from here, and then has a really large crystal here. Celestine or celestite is a strontium sulfate, and that and strontiumite are the two main minerals for much better. Two main minerals for extracting the ore strontium. Strontium is used in fireworks as a colorant, and also in making of different metals as an additive, like chromium and whatnot. And if we can go in closer for a moment, this is also a very powerful metaphysical mineral. For those of you that enjoy the metaphysical side of mineral specimens, look at it. Look at the clarity to those crystals right there. This is a stunning piece, especially because it has the balance of the really nice large crystal, and then these facet grade individual crystals sticking out here, and then down in that little vug right there as well. And so just a nice overall specimen size, and really displays nicely at several different angles also. So I only had a couple that I could ever either offer or give away, and so I decided to give this one away because it just makes a really unusual. I've always thought celestite was an unusual mineral, and the way it forms is often like a geode as well, as you can kind of see that. The metaphysical side to it brings rest and calming, and lowers one's anxiety, and so there would be certainly nothing wrong with having a specimen like that next to your, on your nightstand as you fall asleep, with celestite helping you along the way in the metaphysical world. Okay, so I'm going to tuck that away, and we'll be right back for the start of the show. All right, so as promised, here is the Manganoan calcite specimen. Now, I'll give you the item number and the information in a bit. But for right now, I want to show you the before and after. Now remember, calcite is often fluorescent anyway, but when it has a manganese or Manganoan content to the calcite, it supercharges the fluorescence many times. And in this case, look at these crystals. It definitely supercharges it. So to the human eye, there's a slight light pink color that is common with Manganoan calcite. But using blacklight long wave fluorescence, this turns an amazing orange color. And we're going to show that to you in just a moment. So we'll set up and be right back with the fluorescent calcite. Okay, here is that same specimen. Now, I have that long wave ultraviolet little hand light I use, and this is as close as we could come. The human eye recognizes this as actually being even more orange than what you're seeing. But we've never really been able to get fluorescence down in doing this. This is as close as we have been able to do. But look at the crystals like this. And remember, it was a white cream color. Nothing, look at, there we go. That is really close to what the actual fluorescence is that you're seeing in those crystals. That is stunning. Look at that big, very classic shape for calcite. when you see that parallelogram like that. What a beautiful specimen that is. So we'll give you the opportunity to get that here in just a little bit. And there you're going to see something new. Again, right here at Gem Collectors with Shawn. We'll be right back. Okay, so this is the specimen that you saw us just show you for the first time. Fluorescence. We didn't give you the item number or the description. Now you have the information, and now you're going to get the price on this. It is only $28. Look at that. So you saw the color under the fluorescence. It will glow a stunning, amazingly orangish pink. You've got this nice, large monoclinic crystal on this side, and then these smaller calcite crystals on this side, manganese calcite. Beautiful, beautiful piece, and lovely fluorescence if you're a fluorescent collector. Okay, now we're going to zip through these items quicker than normal because I want to get as many to you as possible. So let's show you this next item, which is 110, 22, 23. And this, of course, is very well known stone. But what a lot of people don't realize is it was originally discovered in California, named after, of course, Tiffany & Company Vice President George Kunz. And so let me show you. Now, many kunzites are actually natural color. And I would say that this one is probably one of those. The ones that you have to watch for are the ones that are, overdone. So let me show you overdone in color. This one, you can see, has what would be a very beautiful natural color to the spodumene, which is the mineral name for kunzite. Look at that. A wonderful, wonderful cut. It would be one that I'd be proud of to say that I cut because there's no window involved, and a great size to it. Price on this one, I am putting it sale priced because I can. Now, let's make this a, 12.42 carats? What if we, let's say only make it about $5 a carat. How about around $65 or so? That should excite somebody to, I couldn't replace it for that. So take advantage of that. $65 opportunity. Beautiful gem. Beautiful gem. Now, let's move to something else that is kind of in line with this. Because this is item 1074922. And these two people at the time were kind of both in a, we're both looking for gems named after them. Check this out. That is a stunning piece of morganite. Now, J.P. Morgan, a huge benefactor to the mineral museums, and so when they discovered pink beryl, it was a perfect specimen and perfect item to name and honor J.P. Morgan by naming it morganite. So beryl being a beryllium aluminum silicate. This is from the Iracum claim in Galileia in Brazil. It is etched. It was named for J.P. Morgan in 1911, so right in the same era and time frame as the discovery of kunzite in California. Look at that natural color. Look at the etching in this. And if you remember, I had a specimen that actually had a tourmaline crystal growing in one of the etched out areas, and a beautiful specimen indeed. This is a wonderful, wonderful, rare collector's piece. it's a stunning large size and 254 carats. I have this, you know, kind of crazy to do, but I am going to offer it at a discount opportunity. Take advantage of it. It's not going to ever be lower than this price I'm offering you for only $148. $148, and that gets you a real treasure. If you want something really special that you're just not going to find, that's it, and all natural color. There's actually areas that could be faceted that are in this. This is one of those specimens that you start looking at and looking into it, and you can spend hours of time exploring all the other areas that were etched out through another, you know, hot geothermal solution, most likely, and that's what you end up with. Take advantage of that if you ever wanted an amazing, amazing deal. Okay, now, next I have this, which is amazing that it didn't sell the first time around, but if you gambled and you were wanting a lower price, I don't know if I can do that, but we'll take a look at item number. Let me see. Literally, let me see. Item 110-5423. 110-5423. Look at this. Wow. This is really actually a jewel when you get to looking at it. Look at that in my hand. These are, it's a peridot bracelet. All vermeil. Vermeil, of course, is a thick, heavy micron layering of gold over sterling silver. This happens to be very well made. You have your double figure 8 safeties right there. And then look at those peridot. Beautifully matched and just a really bright piece. Peridot, of course, belongs to the olivine family and is the August birthstone. Much more popular in the last decade than it ever used to be before. Price on that guy, let me check my notes on this, and let's see if you, why not? I'm going to make this discounted to, I'm kind of cleaning up the morganite at the same time because that's such a special piece. Don't want anything to happen to that. All right, so how about let's do this? It was $138 before. I'm going to do this at a silly, silly price of $118. How's that sound? Only no, you know what? Let's do this. I just saw some other notes I had. Make it $88. $88. It will never be less than that, and that's pretty easy to understand why. Now, let me show you a real true collector's piece. This is 758118, and this is from not too far away from this part of the world, the Crabtree Mine in the Spruce Pine Mining District of North Carolina. And wow, let me show you. This has a stunning emerald crystal in it. You saw that piece last week. Look at the beautiful emeralds that you can see right along the edge there, really nice large ones. And you have often dravite. Look how thin this is. I've sprayed it to not only kind of stiffen and harden it up, because some of this it actually bends. It's kind of odd, but also to give it that wet look so that you can easily see into it. You look at that emerald right there. Look at that. That's something. So you often have dravite, tourmaline, and then hornblende for some of the other inclusions or members of the hornblende family. Really nice piece. It'll come with the display stand and a discount, which is kind of crazy because you know the Crabtree material is so expensive now to get. I am going to make that slice discounted now to only $36. How about that? If I go any lower, I have lost my mind indeed, which I probably have already anyway. So let's do this and put this up. Okay, next I have, let's see, what kind of treasures you want to see. I know what I'll do. How about item number 323. And this collection, near and dear to my heart, because it is my birthstone. And that's the great thing about my birthstone, because it has a wide range of different types of garnet. These are almandine garnets. So remember, almandine family of garnets, those are the family of garnets that are often called iron garnets. And they are in the makeup of the garnet family, ones that are easily detectable as almandine garnets with a simple, powerful magnet. Now, powerful makes a big difference. You can sometimes use a plain magnet, but the difference in a neodymium magnet is all that you need, because look at that. So when you get that kind of attraction to the magnet, that strong of attraction that picks the garnets up, there's a high enough iron content that you can be assured it's mostly an almandine garnet. Now, you can have an almandine garnet with pyrope mix, pyrope being the magnesium part of garnet, and if the mix is right, you come out with rhodolite. Rhodolite colors are, and rhodolite itself is a blend of almandine and pyrope. These are really well cut stones. They all came out of a bracelet, and so they all are matched, and I have them sale priced for 20 carats of this material. How about this? $34. $34 for the whole batch. Yep. All right, now, this next item I have 1090322. This is another opportunity to buy a quarter for I'd say a nickel at the rate I'm going on this one. And hold on, because I have this very handily wrapped up safely. And take a look. Take a look. Wonderful carving. Just a really, really fine piece of lapis. And you have 14 karat bail at the top, and it is carved on both sides. Now, you look up, it's easy. You figure out what they have carved. In this case, apples, maybe. But there's always a meaning to their carvings. And you can look up easily and Google that meaning. And you just put in, meaning of carved apple. And it'll tell you what the lore or the mythology or the history to the meaning that they give it. So this is a double-sided carving with really fine quality lapis used, and at a price again that's kind of crazy. Going this low, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let's make it only $44. $44 for that. So let me make sure that I notate how much. I have lost my mind, but that's okay. I'll find it one day. All right, now let me tuck this item away. Okay, so let me just take a 1 moment break here, put up a couple things, and I'll be right back. Okay, so quick presentation here. Look at this. Swing bale, large bale, drilled snowflake obsidian. You know what that is? That is cristobalite in obsidian, volcanic glass. Check out the picture, Jasper. Same thing. Very cool design. Very cool design. Double-sided, where either way. Large bale, so you can put just leather cords through it. And green aventurine. Aventurine is a quartz silica with fuchsite, which is a chromium mica, giving you often the reflections out of it. Here's 3 pieces, estate pieces, cleaned up, ready to go for you though, on polished bales. And here is a ridiculous opportunity for you. How would you like all 3 of those at a price of only, oh, why not? Make them $12 each. That's a total of only $36. $36. Yes, that is a sale price indeed. And as is several items that we're doing, since we're going to get through just as many as we can. And the only way it's going to be worthwhile is if I make them inexpensive enough that you can't resist what I show you. Item number 1105-523, which let's me. Yep, 1105-523. And take a look. It would go great with those pendants. Look at this quartz piece. Wonderful, wonderful lemon quartz, smoky quartz, sterling silver. Look at even the cutting of them is not calibrated, but all still the same size. So I like that. That means the heads were made to fit the stones, and it makes it just different. Makes it just different. You can see the catch used, so a good, safe catch, and a sale price on this. It is an opportunity. Yeah, it's sale priced, all right, and it is an opportunity. I am going to let that go for only $68. $68 on that. And you couldn't buy the stones separately, let alone the mounting done in silver and the custom cut stones like that. I like that piece. As I'm trying to clean up some other items here in front of me, because as I am giving you these sale prices, I have to make sure I mark them on the tags so that Christy does the right thing. Okay, now, next. This is a jewel and something that I custom made. I found the stone. I sawed the stone. Here is the item number.
What is the number? Can you call it out, please?
Yes, sir, I can. This number is item 1109-523. And it is ruby in smaragdite. Smaragdite the original word smaragdos, meaning emerald color. And you can see why, this beautiful green. Well, starting over here, you can see the red ruby crystals. And the ruby crystals are amazing throughout this whole piece. You can see as I backlight this, look at them. And to see them all, the best way to really spot them is, look at them, look at the red, is to go in the closet with a UV light, long wave, and all the rubies will glow red. There is, this was mined by me, and it is actually signed by me right up there, S14S. So 2014, I mined it and crafted it and made the bale. You can just hang it up in your window. And the light shining through, I know it looks beautiful because we have one above our kitchen window that I made the same. I think in this piece, let me see if it's on there, how many I counted. Yeah, it was a huge number of rubies in this one. I can't remember, 30, 40, 50. It was a lot. Drilled and sliced. It's only 1.8 millimeters thin. So, and signed. But I thought for certain that for only $58 you'd want it, but you didn't. So how about this? How about if I make that only $44? $44, it will not be any less than that. I would rather put it back up and hang it in my window for anything less than that. That was really difficult to cut it that thin and make it that beautiful like that. Now, I have a treasure that this will probably be the last time you get to see it in this show. And you're going to get to see it at a big discount. How about this? It is item 1110323. 1110323. And take a look at this amethyst. Look at that. And look how large the diamonds on the side are. And it's natural color. Natural color. And 65 points of diamonds. An 18 karat amethyst. Wonderful color. The balancing beads, which help tremendously. Of course, I can size the ring for free to whatever size you want it. And let me just show it on my finger relative next to my ruby ring, which you know the size of by now. So look at that. Look at that. I am going to discount this beauty. Let me just put it right there for you for the moment. And while I conjure up a price, that's pretty much what I'm doing here. And if you see color zoning in there, that's actually desirable anymore. There is so much lab-created amethyst that zoning is something that you want to see, telling you that you have a natural color amethyst. All right, so let me see what kind of opportunity on this guy we're gonna do. Wow. Okay. I'm going to do something really crazy that the large diamonds at 65.6 stones, so they're going to be average 11 points alone. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. $888. $888 for the entire ring, and that is a deal. That is a deal. It would be impossible actually to make the ring at that price. $88. So a huge markdown, and after that price, it's not going to be any less anywhere else, because I could pretty much just take the ring apart and sell it in parts for anything less than that. Okay, now let me offer you some additional crazy deals, as in this next one. Wow, hold on, let me get this out. And let's look at item number 1097523. And we'll just put it next to that ring for the moment. Look at that. So you get to see kind of a size comparison of the two. All right, so multi-gemstone. And by multi-gemstone, I mean, so we have peridot, garnet, blue topaz, citrine. Look at that center, wonderful cushion cut amethyst, pink tourmaline. It's just a very colorful ring, a great ring for spring, indeed. And all those stones had to be picked to fit that mounting. That's kind of odd. All right, so to offer this ring anything less than the $28 I offered it before is unheard of, but I'm going to do it anyway. And let me see if I covered all the stones. Yeah, the name of the stones is in the tag, in the description you'll get, so that'll help you out. All right, $24. $24. Obviously, it won't be less than that, because again, I could take it apart and get the money for that. Let's look at item number 1081622. Now, this is still wrapped up, so I'm going to look and see what we exactly have here. Oh yes, a nice large epidote cluster. And I have been real surprised by look at these big crystals, looking at these up close, because I have found, look at that, some other amazing crystals hidden amongst this piece. So this is from Imrkil in Morocco, and look at that, a wonderful, wonderful single specimen with multi-crystals of epidote in all different directions. And if we put a light alongside them, you would see translucency, transparency coming through. Here we go. Let's make this only, oh, why not, $10. $10. Yep. You can be assured that that would be something that you would never see at a show. All right, let me put up a couple things and we'll be right back. Look at this. Obviously, I got these out of the same item, nicely matched. Sometimes when they're just like this and in this shape, they're not really called baguettes. They're called rectangular emerald cuts, things like that. They are more aligned with emerald cuts than baguettes. They just don't have the corners cut on them. So here, HI color, very good. Always have to be good clarity, because you can see into them when like this if they have inclusions. So VS clarity, you can see 60 master stones. I am going to discount 88 point total weight. These are very expensive to buy because of what the quality has to be for them to be nice. If not, you get so it looks like frozen spit. I am going to deeply discount these And I know I have someone that buys diamonds out there, and hopefully you'll take advantage of this opportunity, because I am going to make those right now, marking them down to only $188. $188 for 88 points. Wow, there's an opportunity. Okay, for you gem collectors, let's look at item 110. Oh, blind Shawn. 1109 423. 1109 423. Now, I think we mentioned at the beginning of the show, the Lion of Marilani, the largest Savarite garnet ever donated or ever cut. Donated to the new wing of the Smithsonian Institution, the Annenberg wing, and it was finished of around 113, 117 carats, something like that. Magnificent. If you have not seen that stone, it's cushion cut. The cutter did a stunning job. He cut one out of a synthetic first to see how it would work, then took a month to cut the real deal. Look it up. The Lion of Marilani, referred partly, I think, double entendre meaning, partly Bruce Bridges, who donated it. His father, Campbell Bridges, was the original discoverer of Savarite in 1967 in Tanzania, and later close by in Kenya, named after the Tsavo National Park near where it was discovered. Amazing for a new gemstone to be found in the century, let alone two of them, because Tanzanite was discovered also very near that same time and not very far away. Often the two are found together. I've had crystals, I've sold all of you that have had the two together. Here are 6 nicely matched stones. Green's always difficult to show on the TV, so you're going to be happy to see the color they actually are. I am going to discount these. This is a parcel. I know their history from the 1990s. So it was, put it this way, if they were wine, it was a good year, because the further you go back in Tanzanite history and in Savarite history, often you get the better stones. And in this case, I think that would be true. So I am going to offer these at I looked up what these are selling for in the market now, even in the wholesale market, and there's no way, the price that I just, none of you would, it would sound expensive, because they are, and they're rare. But I'm going to discount these to a ridiculous opportunity for someone, and I had made them only $50 a carat before, which was a fifth, because the retail was $250 a carat on them, a fifth of the price of what they should be going for. Right now, how about this? 3.16 carat, I don't know, do some rough math in my head, and that's a scary thing though. Let's make them only $40 a carat, so times 3.16, that's 120, make them $125, and that way it's easy to 6 pieces, $125. You're talking about like $21 a stone. $21 a stone, if my math is somewhat correct there or close enough. That is unheard of for that size and that clarity of garnet, especially since the donation to the Smithsonian has made a big splash and has you're going to hear a lot more about Savarite, and that always drives the price up when there's something large like that happens to a particular stone in the industry. So make sure you look it up, the Lion of Marilani, if you haven't seen the stone, just for the look of the cut alone. And then also you get to see the piece of rough that they cut it from. It was really quite stunning. Let's look at item 1107-923. 1107-923. I have something else also you never get to see. I'm not going to take these out. You get to see it good enough the way they are. This, for the size, remember, often things like amethyst gets its color from saturation through depth. In other words, through a bigger stone. So when you have stones this small that have this intense of a color, the saturation and the beauty is extremely rare. Here you get the red and blue flash out of stones that small. Yeah, that is a rarity. Beautiful Uruguayan, rare Uruguayan amethyst, 9 stones, 1 carat total weight, 3 millimeter gems, February birthstone, the color of royalty. There's not much more you can say. There, for 1 carat total weight, I tell you what, I'm gonna put these on sale and let's make them $18 for all of them, $18. And you know, in 9 stones, so you're looking at $2 a stone. $2 a stone. No one could even source that material, let alone offer it to you for $2 a stone. They wouldn't even bother with taking the time. But there you go. Item number next, 1107-223. 1107-223. Now, items like this, even if you don't know what you wanted to do with them at the time, at the prices I'm offering them at, you might as well just get them, because I have another parcel of diamonds. Look at those. Look at those. Now, those are emerald cuts. 3 beautiful gems. Look at that VS clarity, 80 points in 3 stones, HI color. Just true gems. And so if you have 3 points, these are over a 1/4 carat each. A 1/4 carat each. You know how much a 1/4 carat diamond of that color and clarity now goes for in the market? Yeah, if you haven't priced them lately, I know Sue in Texas was aware of how much they are. She had to get a 1/4 carat. She said in the quality I was showing, was selling one for I think $190. She had to pay $600. So all 3 of these I am going to be offering you now. Now think, they're 1/4 carats. That really makes a big difference in price, but I am discounting them. I am discounting them to where if you don't get them, then the mistake will be on you, not me. I don't even know how to come up with a price. I'm just going to discount it tremendously from where I'd offered those before, which was $585, which that's only less than $200. So there's $195 a stone for a 1/4 carat. That in itself, very inexpensive. Here we go though. Let's do this. Let's, I don't even know how low to go, but I know that if I do those for only make it $450, $450, and that is a, $150 a stone for over a 1/4 carat emerald cut of that kind of clarity. You could turn around and resell those take them pretty much anywhere. Let's look at something else. Item 109-4423. 109-4423. We're getting ready to wrap up the show here, but I wanted to get in a few of these diamond parcels at the discount I wanted to do them for. Look at this. Look at this mix of rounds, baguettes, because if you need a baguette, you never have the right size. When you have a parcel like this to pick from, you will have the right size because there's enough choices. There's also round stones in there. So you have rounds and baguettes. And in this opportunity, I've already discounted it once. We'll do it one more time. How about this? Let's make them $77. That's like $50 a carat, something ridiculously silly. And anything, of course, after that, I can actually, my refiner actually will buy some. So we'll turn around and do something like that with them. Let me show you. I have another opportunity here. Let's give you one more on some diamonds. Let's look at item, because this will be the last chance on them. 1109, hold on. 1109,623, 1109,623. Because after this, at the price, it wouldn't be even sensible for me to sell them for less than what I'm offering these. All right, so look at this batch. Again, we won't take them out, we won't have time, but you can see you have 10 matching stones. They're 3 millimeter, and the weight is so correct. They weigh exactly what they're supposed to for a 3 millimeter stone. So at a carat 10 stones, they're 11 points each. And look at the clarity, VSSI, very nice for, and save some money with them just not being all VS. But I think I remember that they were quite clean. You have a decent, real decent color grade on them as well. You know, a very working, real color grade. Price on these, I had them at $198 for a carat 10. So that was what, 180, 170 a carat? I don't know. But we'll mark it down carat 10 to this last possible opportunity for you and make these only $177 for the parcel of a carat 10 of stones that point 10. They're 11 pointers, and they're exactly the weight they should be for the diameter that they are. And to be able to get them at that price, if anybody out there is buying diamonds, spend the money, take every parcel I just showed you, because you'd be saving a lot of money. Okay, let me close this out with a gemstone, 1109,023, and I had started with one of these, talking about old Mr. Coons, and so we'll finish with lithium aluminum silicate, better known as Kunzite, named in honor, of course, George Coons in 1903. Now remember, it was Morganite named in honor of J.P. Morgan in 1911. So very close to each. And George Coons described it from Pala, California, vice president of Tiffany and Company. Look at that stone, a nice, large, natural color, Afghani, calibrated cut, 18 by 13, so it would fit an inexpensive silver mounting. You could create a large stone for not a lot of money. I had offered that other one I showed you earlier. I think I was down to, what, $5 a carat or something like that. Let's go ahead and make this one just a wee bit ridiculously less than that and make this one $77. I don't know why, but obviously it won't be less than that, because again, there's other markets that I can sell into that would bring me more than that. But I just want to give everybody an amazing opportunity right now. And so one last opportunity is this parcel, 1103,823, 1103,823. We'll just get a little batch of color and just show you how pretty something like that is mixed with, again, something like pink. Create your own colors. This is a wonderful citrine parcel. You can see I'd offered it for $28 before. After marking it down from $38, well, let's just go as low as I can, which is already the $38. But here we go. I'm not going to make it ever less than what I'm getting ready to price it for. You got 12 carats. So if I make these only, $24, that's $2 a carat roughly. Actually less than $2 a carat. So make them $24. That's going to close out our show. We'll be right back with the trivia. All right. So like I said at the beginning of the show, it was going to be a little bit short in the show. So, hey, we still got in a lot of items, and at the discounts I was offering, that was making up for the lost time. Always a trade-off benefiting you for lower prices if I'm going to shorten the show, I'm going to make sure I still have your interest. And lots of things also planned for the next show. All right. We have 2 questions for you. The first one, what element causes fluorescence in calcite to be stronger? In other words, what element, when it is present in calcite, enhances fluorescence in most cases? Because remember, calcite is often fluorescent, but with this other element, it's kind of like an extra jolt of power to it. Question number 2. What is the name of the largest Savorite ever cut and then donated to the Smithsonian Institution? What is the name given to the largest Savorite garnet that has ever been cut and donated to the Smithsonian Institution? All right, that's it. Thank you once again, and thank you for all your support in the last couple weeks. You've bought almost every single item that we featured, including that blue topaz ring with the double ring of diamonds around it, that stunning opal ring with the diamonds all around it. And I am so thrilled that you have realized and recognized the value to those pieces. Jump in on these items too, even if you don't know what or what you're going to do with them now. I tell you what, at the kind of prices I was offering them for, you take them to anywhere that knows diamonds, you could trade them for something else. You can offer them for, well, always ask for a profit, because there's a lot of room left on it, especially those emerald cuts that are over a quarter carat each. Come on. All right, so I can't wait to be back to see you again. We're celebrating now 5 years of this show, and I am thrilled to still be working with the team that I have, that once again, you can hear it in my voice. I was ill last week. Asif created the opportunity to bring you maybe an abbreviated show, but a show nonetheless, and I'm extremely grateful for the team for allowing me to come here and be able to bring that show to you. 6 years. 6 years. You're right. 6 years. That's amazing. And it seems like it just, well, I've enjoyed every bit of it, and it has a lot to do with the people I work with. I am so grateful to them for that. All right. Again, thanks to all of you supporting this show, and to the team here at Gem Shopping supporting this show. I will be back once again next week. Cheers.